We're still at the cratered moon. Mistress, the results of my scan are most surprising. Go on. The moon is partially hollowed. There is a chamber below ground. It would seem the region of diminished gravity is centered here. You're saying the gravity effect is artificial? Mistress, how can gravity be localized? Is that possible? It would appear so. This looks like a way down. Catch me if I fall, 6. Oh, they're not stairs, they're ramps. What an idiotic remark.
The metal ledge halfway down was wide enough for walking.
Ooh, glyphs.
Enough for robots too.
Can you locate the source of the gravity? Indeed. The force lines are quite visible. The effect is strongest in the center. Aren't you going to look at these glyphs here? There's something at the center. A cover? It looks like it has handles. A covered well? There's no way I'd keep my balance on this slope if I tried to climb down. And there are some big holes to go sliding into. Let's see if we can find a section that hasn't shattered. On the opposite end, it's complete. So what was this place? Some kind of landing pad? A place to land ships? Low gravity would be useful for such a location, Mistress. In particular, for taking off again via some kind of explosive propellant. Nope, that's gone. Yeah, this other end looks like it has a safe spot to slide down. Are you saying you can see gravity? Indeed, Mistress. After a fashion. I wonder why you can see gravity. Someone must have made you that way. That's as safe as it's gonna get. Perhaps. Although my eyes can see most flows of momentum, Mistress. Useful when flying, I suppose. Seeing gravity. Useful. Certainly. But the gravity of the nebula is also quite beautiful.
The scale of the place was mind-boggling. It must have been built by giants for giants.
Water's above. I figure when we fall in the crater, it might be a point of no return that we might have to just like teleport off the moon for. So I want to go here first. The air is so thin here. On the moon in general, or just up here compared to down there? We were already up here. Take your time to recover, Mistress. Evidently, it is clear this place was intended for robot workers. Lizard. I cannot interact with lizard. I'm a lizard loser. I feel a little scandalized by the fact that the game actually had an artifact at the end of a dead end at the beginning of the game. If the gravity effect is technological, Mistress, then this place is a most important find. Valuable, you mean? A column of low gravity could allow ships to launch without an upriver. There's definitely something inside here. Equipment? It's hard to make out. Alright, we'll climb in. There's no window. I don't think. But yeah, the fact that a dead end at that farm planet at the beginning of the game had a relic in it makes me want to rub up on every dead end, even though it involves like a minute of walking the wrong way and back. This looks like a door. Only it won't open. There. Isn't enough gap to get the knife blade through. Bless the wind. Can you batter it down, 6? No, mistress. I could use the button, however. The locking mechanism is internal and magnetic. There.
A dark, cramped space, stuffed with metal and pipes and wires. It was like I'd turned into an ant and was now crawling around inside the robot.
Some kind of control panel. Did they have children working here? Based on its position just under the window. This must control something out there. But I can't see how to use it. 6, can you operate this? That one controls the temperature of the floor, mistress. This one, however, appears more interesting. Is it dangerous? I do not believe so. There. I have activated the panel. But I see no change. Maybe the power's gone. Someone oversaw this site from here. A regulator? It can't have been a good job. It's uncomfortable, cramped, but robots do not care. Those panels also look like they're designed for him to use, given how low his stature is, and how easily his arms reach those panels, and how awkward it would be for us to use them. There's something written here. Whoa! I've got a few of these words in my notebook, but I'll have to take a stab at what's left. Oh. We're not piecing anything together on our own. It's a lot of guesswork. A terrifying amount of guesswork. Okay. Young, beautiful by emperors? Order gate here, starlight. Masters, princesses, friends above. Watch separation fly fade. Stars, sailcloth, darkness above. Okay. I think I took that zigzag to mean life, and that the little squiggle X zigzag means death. So an X against light means this might be darkness. What do these symbols mean? It includes a symbol like the one for path, so it might be gate. This is a big one, wow. Oof. And all three examples are things I also don't know for sure yet. It's almost certainly not above, because that'd be a simple concept, I think. Might be masters? An overseer? That's a complex concept. A slave owner, potentially. Or a ruler, or an organization leader might have enough complexity to its concept that it might need more characters. Open and light. It might be fly. Dead hold load. By or via? Via gate of masters we fly darkness. I'm gonna have to go above. Just by gate of masters we fly above. That almost makes sense, I suppose. I might have to accept that. Oh, that was a big one. That was a lot of words we didn't know. By gate of masters we fly above. I think that's correct. A master? Why would a place like this need a master? Perhaps it simply means operator. Because they're robots. Ramps. Robot-operated controls. The site wasn't managed by humans at all. Oh, that's a... It's like a glitch, almost. It's the shadows are fucked up and make it look like there's a staircase here, but it's actually a ramp. This place was clearly abandoned. No disaster, no destruction. Whatever it once was, it became obsolete. These doors seem stuck. I can get my fingers in, but they won't budge. The power to that section appears to have failed. Can you divert more power that way? I am not some kind of plumber, mistress. Are you here to help or not? Don't get sassy with me, we're on a mission. Let's see what's up here. What was that noise? I believe it was the lower door resealing itself, mistress. Look at it. It's beautiful. Can you imagine ships coming to rest here? Like flies on a flower? A god for ships and sailors, perhaps. Reaching to the skies. Let's check inside first. There's more upstairs. Does this one work? I do not believe so, mistress. It seems a lot of the wiring here has been rendered purely decorative by time. Good thing the control downstairs still works. Or we'd be stuck in here. It does still work, doesn't it? Statistically, mistress, it will. We're not stuck in here, we're on the roof. There are ways out, obviously. Some kind of device. A telescope? The ladies in grey on Elbereth had a telescope on the roof. They encouraged us to look at it, at Iox through it, and dream. This place is an observatory. I've seen this kind of tripod before. It's the same as the one on Janicki's moon. On the roof of the Hermitage near Mercy. Was the ruin near Mercy an observatory too? The locations are interesting, mistress. Separated but aligned. They suggest a triangulation. We know Renba found a telescope on the crashed ship. Another one on the run near Mercy. We found one more. Triangulation of something. The data is indeed thin. What would help? More telescopes, mistress. A triangulation requires 3 or more points. If we assume the scope aboard the ship was bound for, or taken from, somewhere near Elbereth. Wait, mistress. Let's see now. Oh. There's no eyepiece. What's the use of that? The tripod. It's just like the one I found on the Hermitage. On the moon near Mercy. But this place is old. Much older than the Empire. Assuming all those tripods were set up at the same time. Is this it? The observatory that Renbo wanted me to find. Evidently, it is possible, mistress. But there is nothing here. This looks like it comes free. There's an inscription on it. It hurts my eyes to try to read it. Just gonna pick them up and take them away. This one is fractured. My translation fly isn't right. Well, there goes that immediately. But I believe I remember the word nebula, mistress. Just gotta believe. Everything. Let's see. Holy on river. On is the least. Is the most similar symbol with the least accurate definition. It might be look. Like look up nebula as in like look up at the stars? Does look up nebula work? I'm feeling pretty iffy now on some of these. Definitely not a flagpole. There are no ropes and no fittings for any ropes. Evidently, it is a signal mast. A beacon. For sending something. Somewhere. Iox has a similar one for sending messages. Where does the mast send to, Six? Wait, mistress. Yes. I believe I can deduce that, but it is hardly accurate enough to pinpoint a target. I hope this isn't Renba's observatory. If it is, then I'm definitely missing something. There's nothing here. That feels like a weird response, given that we've seen there's like a mountain of stuff here. This is an absolutely wild location. She's like, there's nothing here. Maybe not final answers, but there's stuff here. So what was this place observing? The rivers. Nothing else seems plausible to me, mistress. I saw that earlier. This one's a broken piece from an even longer phrase. At least Nebula's for certain. I'm sure my translation for garden. Yay! So that probably is plant then. The nebula is our garden? It's a variation of the word we, so it's probably our. I could still change my mind, but Nebula is our garden? Something to do with ships. Fits with our idea of this as a landing bay. I wonder if she indicates a level of accuracy with her answers when she says certain things. Like, is she like, the certain things she say indicate that you got it right, and the other ones indicate that you might be wrong? She's not really supposed to know, so I'm guessing maybe not. So I'm thinking it might just be kind of randomized. Like, it might be she just has kind of a random reaction just to kind of make you sort of always question it a bit and never be completely sure, because if you don't know every single word for sure, then you don't know the phrase for sure. Mistress. What's the matter? I have a result, mistress. Have you finished the calculation? The triangulation of the telescopes, mistress, that Renba found. Assuming they were recording devices, transmitting data to each other to a central source. Assuming they were positioned deliberately to cover a particular sector of the nebula from many angles, while maintaining a line of sight to that central source. Mistress, I believe I have found Renba's observatory. Evidently is far further than we have ever been. How far is this observatory, Six? Significantly farther than the air tanks that the Nightingale will allow, mistress. Oh, don't make me drive that manually. Can I put the telescope back on this one? I guess it doesn't help, because the telescope doesn't have an eyepiece. So I can't pop it from place to place to see what the thing's looking at. If I may see the device, mistress. Here. Indeed. Most interesting. I wish I knew where Arroy was. She'd be able to tell us what it was. It is a recording device, mistress. There is a rubesque foil at its apex. Can you read it back? No, mistress. I have a foil inside me, but there is no common language. But I can guess. Let's hear it. If this device is a telescope, perhaps it has been recording the movements of the sky. If we are worried about some impending darkness, I wonder if they were anticipating the same thing. Open the door, 6. Mistress. Ah. Open the door, 6. It would seem the power to this control is not entirely functional. Presumably the system has not been used or maintained in some time. So fix it. I am not convinced that I can, mistress. As you are fond of remarking, I am merely a robot. Are you saying we're trapped in here? After a fashion. There's giant windows that are bigger than you. So hopper us out of here. I am afraid the line of sight required is not available. We can head for the roof. An excellent idea, mistress. Please wait where you are. I will return momentarily. Oh. 6? He jumped off the roof to open the door from the side. I thought he was going to hop her out and then drive over here. Would have taken a while, but... Mistress? Escape! I have fixed the lock, mistress. It will not close again. It will not close again. I have fixed the door by breaking the door. Is my takeaway there? So what was this place? We know it was run by robots. Some kind of recording station. Observing the rivers. The crater itself is most likely a dock. A place for ships to land. The lower gravity in the center helped ships to take off from here. You have collected one intriguing artifact here, the telescope device. Also, we have pinpointed one new location of note, Renba's Lost Observatory. May I activate the hopper now, mistress? I want to go down to the center of the crater first. Like, obviously, I haven't forgotten. Just being efficient because I was convinced that the hopper was going to come up. Ooh, I can look at that now? There's writing around the rim. She sees it now. Yeah, it's probably important. It's also a long string. Ooh. This one's several words. It almost looks longer on this screen than the other screen. What is up with that? I've done something wrong. Nope. I don't think I put luxury in last time. We can try that. This doesn't feel right. This one's hard to parse. There's a lot of symbols that can overlap. Mistress, that translation is clearly incorrect. I'm blowing this one. There must be another phrasing. Is it going to cross out us? It is. I did keep thinking that the stuff after us didn't look like a full letter. Or a full word. It was going to get me in trouble. But this means leaving most of it blank. But I guess that happens. Yep. Okay, so we have land now. Good to know. Land here and be welcome. That sounds too easy to not be the case. Land here and be welcome. A landing bay, just as we thought. I'm so smart. The section of the slope looks intact. No gaps between here and the lower level. I could slide until you reach the bottom, mistress, where there is a sizable hole. Yeah. Terrifying. Well then. I'll float down. And we all float on. Alright. Already you come and nothing bad's gonna happen. I will follow. On my treads. Here goes. Him following sounds kind of terrifying. By the goddess. How did you mess up that badly? Wasn't sliding your goal? She tried to walk it. I made it.
The robot was right. I felt as light as a feather.
Like a child. I guess he also has reduced gravity, but I would just be worried about him trying to make that climb being heavier, since we're worried about it collapsing. 6, it's warm. Mistress, please. Surely it can't be powered. It may draw power from the rivers, given the curious gravity effect. There was perhaps once an upriver here. An upriver? For launching ships? Then this surface we're on is a dock. I feel sick. I have no idea what that means. What is this thing? I cannot tell, mistress. It resembles a well. But I do not believe there is a wellspring anywhere here. If there was an upriver here, does that mean there's water after all? Perhaps there is a wellspring directly below the opening, mistress. The water was directed into the river, rather than saturating this moon. Let's see if I can... Evidently, it's almost certainly a low-gravity machine. The gravitational forces are weakest here. How far down do you think it goes, 6? I could not say, mistress. Can you shine a light down there? I'm getting double X input, so I don't even know which one's going to happen. After a fashion, mistress. Crystals. It's lined with iolite crystals. Like the one Rembo left on Mercy. Sleeset. I don't think I got the prompt to do that when I was investigating her room, which would have been helpful. Now stay there like a good dog. Here goes. How the fuck is this gonna work? This seems like a terrible idea. camel's teeth. I bounced off it. Mistress, how did you... Mistress, are you intact? Six, I flew. I flew. You are lucky you did not fly off into space, mistress. By the waters. It seems clear. This hatch was the locus of an ancient upriver. Depleted now, perhaps, but still active. You did not fly, mistress. You sailed. So the crystals here, they alter gravity? And they still work. Incredible. Maybe Oroi can help explain these crystals. The crystal is not mechanical, mistress. Also, I would advise caution. Caution? It seems to me that a crystal capable of storing a gravity manipulating force is potentially a seismic discovery with complex ramifications. It may not be something you wish to give to Oroi. You mean gravity crystals are something I shouldn't give to Elbereth? You're worried about what? That they use them to drive ships through the dead space? And approach Iox without coming in via the river gates? I have no concerns, mistress. I am a robot, after all. But I should think Professor Miyari might. She was not happy when you gave that crown to Oroi, after all. You don't think it was Miyari who turned over Oroi's shop for that crown, do you? Not Miyari personally, no. But I assume it was on her instruction, yes. But you should have given the crown to Miyari in the first place, mistress. This is how we're not going to get along. If this crater really had an upriver under that hatch... Six, that raises so many questions. Where is the river gone? Was it artificial? Can you make a river? Divert one? Did the ancients make the Nebula using uprivers? Could we change it for ourselves? I cannot be sure, mistress. Yeet! Let's see where this goes. If you considered a rope, do not move, mistress. If you attempt to annihilate yourself by entering a vertical drop, I will hopper you immediately. And if you are falling, I might only get half of you. Set. This has to be a bad idea. But it's letting me do it, and I've never been able to die in this game, really? Unless I forgot. And I stayed there like a good dog. What? Stop waking back up. Maybe that was a dialogue branch that was a dead end because I already tried hopping in once and it didn't work. Figured she could just try harder. Like, carefully jump in. Mistress, I do not believe the iolite in the crater here is natural. I believe the crystals have been set in place. There's no natural iolite in this moon? No, mistress. It has been brought here, at some complexity, to be charged with force from the upriver. Ships came here to collect crystals from the hatch, maybe. To use them to flick themselves forward. Perhaps the crystals don't create the upriver. Perhaps the upriver charges the crystals. I just said that. It's very hard to say anything for certain, mistress. Painted symbols. There's a few words in this one. There we go. Towards stream's heart. Uh-oh. Oh. Something's wrong here, right? No. Heart. It's not Nebula. That's just the word river, but with a little thing in front of it, so it could just be rivers. Potentially all the more biased by the fact that it has a apostrophe like you use for rivers, but just on the other side of the word. Toward river's heart. This is telling us where the upriver went. Some kind of nexus, perhaps. Can you take a bearing? I can, mistress. I should note the bearing is not the same as that from the antenna mast. If there was an upriver here, then what was the hatch for? Why was it closed? Fascinating, mistress. Closing off a river. What would that even mean, Six? To close off a river. A river is water. A force line. The force line would remain. But without the water, it could not be sailed. Still, the water would have to go somewhere. Shutting off the river to have it be a power source, maybe? Damming? Perhaps the crater was flooded. I do not think the river was controlled in order to harvest moss, mistress. But perhaps the water was used elsewhere. Another river, perhaps. Did our ancestors really have the power to control the shape of the Nebula, Six? That's incredible. But how did such a power get lost? Robots, mistress. This was clearly operated by robots. The process of controlling the rivers automated until the process was forgotten. Then the robots were removed. The process was lost. I have control over her. She was just staring dumbfounded. Yeah, I can't actually jump in. It was like a duplicate prompt from elsewhere in the narrative. There's nothing more here. Have we learned anything new? There's some kind of charging point. Restoring gravity effects inside the iolite. We've learned of one new location, an unknown ancient site. Shall I try the hopper once more? Let's get out of here. Be ready, mistress. And so we left the surface of the cratered moon with the ramps. With newfound knowledge, the location of the observatory Renbo was looking for. The fact that the ramps are one of the things that comes to mind for her is very funny to me. It's like the least remarkable thing about the entire moon. Maybe it was an insistence on keeping a vague description so that if you failed to glean information, they could still describe it naturally. And they didn't want to change it. A strange find, that crater. Some kind of landing bay for ships. Built above a crystal focus to make takeoff easier. But why land there at all? There's nothing on this moon apart from the bay itself. Except the crystals. And the crystals must be important. It's time to move on. I will ready the ropes, mistress. It's interesting because like they're not ready for the idea that you like relatively basic things were being done involving like damming and rerouting of currents. Stuff that's very intuitive for us in the water on Earth, but less obvious to them in these nebula in space. Wow, Remba's Lost Observatory is in a huge area, potentially. Okay. Well, let's focus on the Withering Palace that's actually local first. I do like to sail as little as possible, so let's just kind of make it our way around the nebula counterclockwise. Just going to the closest thing each time, and then maybe by the time we've investigated those places, Remba's Observatory will have been discovered. It's funny that they said that we discovered Remba's location, because the location is a massive, vague area off in the distance that is bigger than the entire zone we've played so far. Which doesn't seem entirely usable. The robot you claim to have encountered after the hopper malfunction, mistress. It occurs to me it might have been a recording. The structure is barely intact, mistress. There's nothing there. A recording of what? Of whom, mistress? The one where we talked to Remba? Remba was a skilled roboticist. No! He may have found a way to store a recording and force it into my core. It was a message, not a recording. I spoke to it. I don't see the semantic difference between a message and a recording. Oh my god, camera. Help me out here. They are the same, mistress. The camera not following the vehicle makes it actively hard to tell where you're going sometimes. Whoa! What's happening? I'm so tired of sailing in this game. I'm so tired of sailing. What is this? They are recorded personality states. As am I, mistress. There must be a Rebesque foil nearby, cut to resonate the hopper's frequency. This is miserable. I can't see where I'm going. There's weird clouds or something getting in the way. It kind of just looks like Poppin', but it's like some kind of cloud. But it looks really ugly that just out of nowhere it pops in anyway. When you clear what is probably a two-dimensional cloud thing. Like a Counter-Strike smoke grenade from the original game. When it was just 2D images, I think. Remember, I went through a lot of trouble to speak to you, mistress. I've missed some stuff a little bit in the chaos. There is an unexplored river to the right. But I believe it will lead to our target. Either of the branches continues to our destination at the next junction, mistress. I'm trying to remember what the recording I met in the graveyard told us about this place. Oh my goodness. Bruh. She made it sound like somewhere she wanted to be. Oh yeah, the graveyard. The Child Empress, I think. Had you waited for me, mistress, I might have now been able to advise you. As it is, you have only your own faulty memory to rely on. Wow, we're getting angy today. We're throwing tea. That's not the term. I think the Withering Palace should be somewhere nearby. That name just sounds really cool. I want to know what it is. The waters to the right appear promising. Well, then let us do our best. This is a region of less flow, mistress. It is suck ass. Like, super suck ass. Mistress, there's another airless ruin some distance away, straight ahead. Where? There it is. I require guidance. The sparkles appeared to be settled by our passing, mistress. We are sweeping them away as we sail. So if you don't want to use the map, the sparkles indicate which places are new and old. Like Pac-Man dots. And it's another place that has nothing. Just obliterated. Our additional information has now placed us outside the search zone, mistress. Yep. Feels good to be good on a real river again. Not for me. It's probably taking us out of where we're trying to go. Gotta get back in there. Oh, where are we going? Ooh, whole sense of up and down have gone right out the window. Okay, try a new side. Minor flow. So, which way do we go? Are you expecting your robot to know where to go for a thing you've never discovered before? I believe there is a very gentle force here. Just enough to sail. I see that island out there. It may lead somewhere. It may not. It looks so far away, I thought I could make it there. Oh, that might be our destination. This looks like a one-way path to somewhere. I saw that island and thought that was a thing to investigate, to get an answer. I think we found it. There's not enough room to land the ship, mistress. I will ready the hopper. I'd be nervous about trying to get out of these ships and leave it. And there's just nobody left in the ship? The Withering Palace. This is the place the holographic head mentioned. How can there be a palace here? Like, I wonder what kind of technology they have to make it stay, like, moored. Can't exactly tie it to a dock. It's in a space river. Uh-oh.
We hoppered down into a narrow, rocky canyon. Waves of dust made it impossible to breathe.
Better mask up. Mistress. The air. It's getting to me.
This was the worst one yet.
You should not talk, mistress. The dust will get into your throat. We'd best keep moving. She's responding without me now. I probably could have stayed silent. She probably would have... 1 minute, mistress. Nope, standing still does not regenerate. Ooh. I feel alright now. By all the wakened waters. A wind shadow. This place, Six. This place is horrible. Why would the hologram child have wanted to come here? Why would anyone? It is indeed horrible. You think it wasn't always like this? Hard to say, mistress. But all this dust must blow from somewhere. Perhaps something has dried up. Like the ocean or something? How long can I last out here? Obviously, you have 3 minutes without shelter. After that, your lungs will begin to struggle. Are you well enough to continue, mistress? The air is all right, out of the wind. Save your breath, mistress, please. The greatest challenge of all, to not speak.